When we think of Albert Einstein, we picture the lone genius, the unkempt hair, the twinkle in the eye, the revolutionary mind. But behind the myth of the solitary genius lies another story, one history almost erased. It is the story of Mileva Maric, Einstein's first wife, a brilliant physicist, and perhaps his most important, uncredited collaborator. Mileva's story, as well as many others, could be probably described by the Matilda effect. Coined in 1993 by historian Margaret W. Rossiter, it refers to the bias of attributing women scientists' work to their male colleagues. This phenomenon has silenced the contributions of countless women, from Rosalind Franklin in the discovery of DNA structure to Lise Meitner, who co-discovered nuclear fission. Mileva Maric may well be one of its most tragic examples. Born in 1875 in Titel, Serbia, to a wealthy and respected family, Mileva was exceptionally bright and described by her classmates as a quiet person who really liked to get to the bottom of things. She was one of the few women of her era allowed to study science. In 1892, her father even obtained special permission from the Minister of Education to let her attend physics lectures usually reserved for men. By 1896, she was admitted to the prestigious Polytechnic Institute in Zurich, one of only a handful of women there, where she met a fellow student, Albert Einstein. They became inseparable, studying together for hours. Albert's chaotic brilliance was tempered by Mileva's methodical mind. As Einstein later admitted in an 1899 letter, "I find the work we do together very good, healing, and also easier." Their romance faced fierce opposition, especially from Albert's mother, Pauline, who declared, "She is not Jewish, she's too old, and she limps. By the time you are 30, she'll be an old hag." In fact, Mileva was just 2 years senior. Pauline also disapproved of Mileva's Serbian origins and her intellectual nature. Albert's father insisted he find a secure job before marrying. In the meantime, their shared life in Zurich revolved around physics. Mileva often earned higher marks than Albert in experimental physics, but in 1901, during her final exams, disaster struck. Pregnant after a trip to Lake Como, she failed, particularly in the oral exam graded by Professor Hermann Minkowski, who gave her low marks while awarding her male classmates top scores. Some suspect bias against one of the very few women in the program played a role. That year, she gave birth to a daughter, Lieserl, whom she either left for adoption under pressure, or the child died soon after birth. Whatever was the case, Lieserl disappeared from history. Albert eventually secured a job at the Swiss Patent Office in 1902 thanks to a friend's family. They married in January 1903, and Mileva dedicated herself to raising their children, Hans Albert and later Eduard, while continuing to work with Albert late into the night. Her relatives often saw them side by side, calculating and debating physics problems. Mileva's brother, Milos Jr., described evenings when the young married couple would sit together at the table, working under the dim light of a kerosene lamp, calculating, reading, and discussing. In his letters to Mileva, dated 1900 and 1901 respectively, Einstein wrote, "How proud I will be to have a doctor for my spouse when I'll only be an ordinary man, and how happy and proud I will be when the two of us together will have brought our work on relative motion to a victorious conclusion." In 1905, Einstein published 5 groundbreaking papers, including special relativity. Mileva's cousin recalled her telling her father before a trip to Serbia, "Before our departure, we finished an important scientific work which will make my husband known around the world." By 1909, Albert was celebrated across Europe. In a 1911 letter to her friend Helene Savage, Mileva wrote, "I am very happy for his success. I only hope and wish that fame does not have a harmful effect on his humanity. But with all this fame, he has little time for his wife." In the summer of 1912, the Einsteins joined Marie Curie and her 2 daughters for a holiday in the Swiss Alps. They hiked, talked science, and enjoyed the mountain air. But Mileva's reserved demeanor and Albert's growing distance did not go unnoticed. Marie, no stranger to the struggles of being a woman in science, reportedly sensed the strain in their marriage. For Mileva, this idyllic setting only made the cracks more visible. In 1914, Albert accepted a post in Berlin, where he had began an affair with his cousin Elsa 2 years earlier. When Matilda moved there reluctantly, he presented her with a list of humiliating demands. You will make sure that my clothes and laundry are kept in good order. You will make sure that I receive my 3 meals regularly in my room. You will renounce all personal relations with me, except those necessary for social reasons. You will not expect any intimacy from me. You will stop talking to me if I request it. Matilda took the children and returned to Zurich. In 1919, the divorce was arranged by Albert's lawyer, Dr. Karl Zurcher, with one unusual clause. If Albert won the Nobel Prize, Matilda would receive the prize money. When he did in 1921, she used it to buy 2 small apartment buildings. But her younger son Edward's mental illness, later diagnosed as schizophrenia, drained her finances. She lost the buildings and lived very modestly, giving private lessons. In a private letter to Albert, Matilda once asked him to acknowledge her contributions to his success. His cold reply was, "Nobody would pay attention to your words if the man you spoke of had not accomplished something important. I advise you to remain modest and silent." She stayed silent, never seeking public recognition. In 1947, a year before Matilda's death, Albert wrote to Dr. Zurcher, "When Matilda will no longer be there, I'll be able to die in peace." What did he mean? Matilda had never caused a public scandal. Was he afraid she might, one day, speak out? After her death in 1948, the same lawyer who handled their divorce searched her apartment, reportedly to secure or remove certain personal papers. Their letters, eyewitness accounts, and family testimonies paint a picture of deep collaboration. Matilda Marek was more than a wife. She was a scientific partner in the truest sense. Yet her name is missing from the work she helped shape. Some critics claim her impact on Einstein's work was too little to be recognized, but others doubt it. What were the papers Zurcher found in her apartment, and why did Einstein wish her to die before him? We will perhaps never know. But Matilda's story is a stark reminder that history often remembers the man, but forgets the woman who stood beside him, or perhaps in his shadow. And that is the Matilda effect. Share in the comments below what you think about the story, and subscribe not to miss new videos on the channel. Thank you for watching.